Hello folks, how are we doing? Today I'm going to make a waistcoat out of my dinosaur scraps. Oops, there it goes. Out of my dinosaur scraps, which I actually think will be quite fun. I'm going to assume that I'm going to be I've got all of my scraps are mirror images of each other, which means that I can assume once I've pinned out how I want one side to be, I can just mirror that onto the other side. So I'll do this side here. First thing I'm going to do just sort of have that as a nice clean edge down the front side. And I want it to overlap slightly because that way I can have buttons and everything coming through here. So up to my neckline, I've put a belt and a neck scarf on it just to have it coming in at the right points as well. That was a bit messy. I'll use this one. So there's my first piece. So I'm going to pin it in there so that it follows the shape a little bit. Yeah. Here we are. Okay, so it's folded in half because this one was just a whole thing. See, I have one potato, two potato. What was the other one? I've got so this one, three potato, and I have half of this piece. So there. Right. So what we're going to do. So what we have here is I've just sort of filled in with pieces the rough shape that I want this to be, and I'm quite happy with that. I have to decide which side I want sort of being on top and which side going under. I think I want to keep that quite wide. I'll have a low pocket here. This is my opportunity to put pockets in, which, you know, I'm a fan of pockets. Yeah, nice one. Nice one. Here, arm side. Up a bit. Dang. So the next thing I need to do is the next thing I want to do is I need to drape and make sure that I've got this back piece, which is going to be plain. Probably use, this is double layered, so I might get away with doing one central. And holding that open. And then so that'll close up one side. Line this material for my pocket. Start thinking about my next steps. So that's 10 minutes of planning. Good stuff. Now what I want to do is take these pieces that are folded in half off so that I can cut them. This is where it becomes an SMR. Is that the word? SMR video. So to turn it the other way up, if I want my triangles to be that way, I need to put them over here. I'm going to take a pencil, start marking where these bits are going. So I want this one. It's a rectangle, so I don't really need to mark that one. I know that I want this to go across here. But wait, there's more. I still need to do the plain back, and I want to do a lining and pockets. So that's what I'm going to do next. I have this green. This is the last big bit of the screen I have, so it's not quite enough to do the whole back and line itself. So I'm going to use this grey, which used to be a ridiculously huge sleeve. When I'm marking out my pattern. Kind of works for back actually. How about that? I'm just gonna pull this forward here, here, and here. Right. So there's some key points on my pattern, but on my there are some key points on my fabric that I want to be marking. First is this underarm here. To mark that, find that point around here. Yep. Okay. Tuck that onto that side actually. Squeeze that away. I want to draw this forward. I think what I want is if I take this piece, which is still pinned, so I can think about how this is going. I have this piece up here, which comes in line here. So I've got how this bit's going to interact around to here. It's going to be on that angle. Yep. So I have, but I really want this to come to here, and that's my curve there. So I'm going to need some chalk. The next lining piece I need is the one that's going to go underneath where this one's going. So that one's coming up here. Got some more grey. One of the changes for this bit is that I'm going to have to take a bigger dart out here. I've not had to do this on this piece because it's already pieced. So many pieces. Yeah. So when I set up this covering, I don't need to think about the shaping, the darts for the underbust, because I'm already piecing things as they go. So I just sort of overlap more or less for the shape I'm going. But I'm going to have to think about and take a bite out of this bit. So I'm going to take a bit of a bust here. This is where fitting on myself and not just the mannequin is going to be really, really important. I can't use this one. What about? I almost put my chalk in my mouth to hold it. That was not going to do me any favours. Right. So this piece fills in here. Got my bottom edge down there. So that bit I'm fine with. So now I've got here. And that's lining up pretty well with what I've got here. So I'm happy with that. Taking this sweep in here. Now I may fill that in with just a little bit of grey. That's sort of a decision for the future. So we have this here. You can see this is where I'd be changing this angle here to line up my fit. So I take this out, put my chalk down, push this in here, and I smooth, and I smooth, and I see that they line up ever so slightly differently. But that keeps it nice and smooth. Okay, so I've got my underbust here. No, it's cutting out time, and I will see you after that. Okay, it is sewing time. I have just come out of the rain, so I'm a little bit soggy. Let's get to this. So I have sewn up my lining, and I'm going to start joining together these pattern pieces, and then I'll compare that to my lining and work out how I want these joined. I've also looked out some more scrap fabric to make a pocket, which I want to be able to put my phone in that, so I can have a my waistcoat. So let's find out which way up this is. This way up. Okay. That's most of this top bit, so this is going to turn down like this. I'll have some sort of fastening here. I haven't picked a button yet. Okay, so next thing I need to do is work out what size I want these pockets to be. They're probably going to be about that, so they're not for putting hands in. It's just going to be so that just drop my mouse so that my phone can go in and around. It's sort of the goal. It might be a little bit small. We will see. Find another scrap. This will do. I think actually do all my pockets in this. The next piece, when I do this, so I've got this open here, and the next piece is going to attach here, out, and I want to fit my pocket in there, so that when I'm taking my phone and I can go whoop into that pocket, whoop, whoop. That's the plan. So I need to join each of these, and then I'm going to need to join one of these pieces across here and one of these pieces across there. Okay, so that's what I can do now. So something has gone wrong with my tension there. Can you see that? Can't even tell if that's focusing. Yeah, I think it's too loose on the top. Yeah, that would have been too loose on the top. At least with that, they come out really easily. Maybe I should stop actually showing projects and just record my mistakes for ASMR stuff. So before I do the next stage, I'm going to do some ironing and some, well, pressing technically, and some understitching so that I can make sure that when this is folded this way, it's hiding the grey and definitely showing mainly the dinosaurs because the grey's from my pocket. So I will need to go and set that up. So I will see you later. But wait, there's more. My mistake. So before I go off and do the ironing, I need to join the other side of the pocket to this piece. So I'm going to check the positioning for that and sew that on as well. So it will be actually both sides of my waistcoat and both layers of the pockets that will be attached when I go and iron and do the top stitching. So that's a little update there. Okay, it is pressing time. So I'm going to press the seam allowance over towards the pocket, and then I'll just run a parallel stitch along here, joining the pocket and the seam allowances together, which will help me hide this pocket when I'm putting everything together. So if you don't have one of those fancy shapes for ironing curves around, you just take a towel and give it a roll. And then you can sort of bully it open a bit. Gotcha. Now that I've got this pressed, I will do my understitching, turn the pieces over and pop them ready here to do my pocket, and I'll come along, I'll go down, I'll do my pocket up, and then I'll come back along and just leave enough space to be sliding my phone into this little pouch I'm making. So I will turn the iron off and get back to sewing. Okay, so I'm all set up. I've marked out the space that I want to leave open on the pocket so that I can get my phone in and out. So that's enough space with the sort of angles. I think I can get everything around that. I've put the zipper foot on because when I'm doing this bit, I want to be as close to that seam as I can. So here we go. So I had just put a new thread bobbin in and a new thread, and this is not very happy. Can you see that even? Don't know. But it's a mess anyway. So first thing you do when you're trying to fix something is scrap material so you're not pushing hole after hole after hole into this and doing yourself no good. So I'll need to pick this out, but I want to do the exciting bit first. One of the things with sewing machines, especially if you're doing a long hem, is trust your gut. If it doesn't sound right, just flip over the bit behind there to check, because otherwise you could be meters and meters in before you notice what the problem is. The easy thing with this kind of mistake is it is really very easy to just pull out whatever the thread has done because it's just not balanced correctly. But it does also give you an example of why you don't want that in your seam, because it just goes whole thing gone. Right, let's get down to business. And the thread comes out. Yep. Today is a lesson in patience. It comes down here and it looks like this. So I've got my pocket. See if this. Yeah. Pretend it's on the other side. But we're going here. I just might be a bit tight. Makes the next gap a little bit bigger. It's too tight. But it's not my first pocket, so I can use this for smaller things. Like this one can. I'm quite happy with this. I think this is coming out great. It's not quite enough wiggle room. Just not quite enough wiggle room. Shame. Oh. If I ask it nicely enough, it might. No. Gonna need less opening. Coming on here. And I just need to go. Swoop. Ah, perfect. That's too heavy to just sort of friction its way up there. But that will keep that safe. Excellent. So the next bit is to trace a back panel, which I'm going to do in this green. I think that's got the sort of fun dinosaur-y feel. Then I need to join the back. Then I need to join my new back to my two coloured fronts. I need to join that to my lining, get that all nice ways out, finish off the edging for the armholes, decide if I am going to put a button on it. So I might just sort of see how it hangs, and if I like how it hangs without the button, I might go, okay, I'm happy there. Okay, so I have cut out the green back. I'm half filming this so that I can get an idea of how this is looking on me. Let's step back a bit. So it's going to stop sort of just below where my natural waist is. So just before my hips start to come out. And I want it to hang down relatively vertical. And then we've got this bit feel like these bits can come in a bit more. But that's what fitting is about. It's about try it on, change a little bit, take it off, change a little bit, try it on again, and just play with it until you are happy with the result. But I am still so pleased with these pockets. Like, that is a beautiful pocket. So we've had a bit of a rainfall, so I'm a bit chilly. So it is dressing gown time. I have been putting this off because if I actually sew the sides, then I've sewed the sides and I can't keep messing with things. But I can't wear it if I don't finish it. So here we are. Officially waistcoaty shape. Ah, ah. So things that need to be done. This needs to be then matched to my lining, and I'm going to go all around the entire way. So I'll need to make sure that's looking good. I'll turn it out through one of the sleeves and then I will work out how I am binding off these sleeves. So, machine off, time to go and do a pile of pinning. So I have all of the lining and the fancy bit pinned together and I'm ready to start sewing everything together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the front, round the back, over the neck, down the other side and join everything together. I will turn it right way out through one of the armholes, then tuck them in and decide if I'm going to sew that by machine or by hand. That will sort of depend on how things are looking. But that is my plan. Finding my pedal. That's starting to look like a real thing. Let's pop that on. Yeah. Okay. So what I now have to do is I need to give this a good iron to get all of the edges nice and crisp. I then need to decide if I'm going to stitch around the whole thing, and I think I will. I think that will give it just that extra bit of pizzazz. I think I want. Dang, I'm pretty happy with this. Got my little pockets. Yeah, I can see my pockets. Pockets. See, they are pretty much invisible there, which is good. Good stuff. Yeah. So I need to tuck this edge in and this edge in as well and go around that armhole to hide those last remaining raw edges. Give it a big iron and then decide what sort of stitch I want to use for all the way around. And then my colourful waistcoat will be ready to wear. Kind of don't want to take it off, but I suppose I'd better. Okay, so I've rolled in the insides of the armholes, and that is what I'm about to stitch now. That one was a little bit messier than the other, but now, so many threads. Okay, so that will hold that nice. I just need to tie these ends together and poke them into the inside, trim them a bit shorter, give it an iron, and I will show you how it looks. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I am really happy with this. I am. I've got my phone pocket, which is fantastic, and I've got a pocket on the other side as well. Yeah, I am. So I just have to now find excuses to wear this everywhere I am going. It feels quite solid. I think it'll be a nice little warming layer during winter, but still breezy enough for summer. Fantastic. This has been a long project. Yeah, so now to go and look through all of that footage that I've been taking and try and make that into a watchable length. So thanks for sticking around. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.